Let me increase the volume. Okay. So yeah, is it better? Can you all hear my voice?
Yes, I can.
Madhu, shall we start or we have to wait for 5 minutes? Let us give a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let us start. My name is Krishna. I'm in SAP HR time payroll implementations since 99.
Okay.
And I'm with ITBMS, so in the to train or mentor ITBMS employees since last 7 years. Okay. So I'm with ITBMS for last 7 years, and I take classes, 4 to 5 batches in each year. Okay. So sometimes we only take internal batches, sometimes internal and external students join. So okay, and so usually, I live close to New Jersey. So usually, so if we have more classroom students, I drive to New Jersey every weekend, and otherwise, online GoToMeeting works fine. You can see today, so it works really good. We take remote sessions as well. So depending on if you have only really limited registrations in New Jersey, then there is no point, so driving each day over the weekend there. Okay. So, but it is your call, I'm open. So if anybody is interested to, I insist to have a classroom session, I'm willing to come there. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So, so because we have only scheduled for a couple of hours, what I would like to do is I want to give some kind of brief background on SAP HR. Okay, means you need to understand so what actually is SAP, and then I can give the overview on the SAP HR.
Okay.
So and then table all your questions till the end, and either whatever the questions I can answer, I will. Otherwise, Madhu will take care anything related to the administrative side.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
So yeah, SAP is actually is a German product, and it is actually ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning software. And when I say ERP means it is actually how it supports all applications, not just SAP HR. It supports all other application functional areas, so that any business can use this software to do their day-to-day business activities. Okay. So how to ask the question.
Hello?
Yeah.
There is somebody kind of singing.
So it happens most of the time. I don't want to actually mute everybody from here, so
right,
okay,
but
I think we're good now. Okay, just mute from your side, and then unmute when you want to ask any question, or chat me, chat me when you like to, ask a question, so that I will stop, and then so that you can unmute and then ask questions.
perfect.
So, so this is how you can actually see whatever you are seeing. Can everybody see my screen here?
Yes.
Okay. So if you see, these are actually the platform. If you consider this as a platform and see how SAP is actually integrated with with all applications. Again, SAP is actually when you say ERP means it's architecture is client server architecture. Okay, server will be one location, one place, and then various clients can means so each client is actually one desktop, let's say, and as many users he has can log on to the server to do their day-to-day job, and everything actually when it says day-to-day job, everything is controlled by their job role. Okay, means if it is a FI accountant, they get actually access to their FI related transactions. Means we means in SAP. This setup, security will set up different types of job roles, and job roles will be assigned to the users. Okay, so that when the user log into the system, then they can only perform the transactions which they are allowed to do their day-to-day job. Okay, so if it is a FI person, they cannot go to HR functions, HR operations. So means sometimes based on the business requirement, they may get some kind of display options on some data, not everything. So each and every module is the same way. Okay. So all these actually, the blocks what you see here around this R3 application is individual modules or applications or function modules, whatever name you can consider. Okay. So I see the red ones are actually related to most of the time is a financial accounting, and then the project system. Okay, project systems is actually like whenever you talk about people working on the projects and all the things, some projects are actually available and some projects are non-available kind of thing. So all that project systems actually will support actually as that structural configuration. So that's why it is the project system itself is a separate application here. Okay, treasury controlling is actually anytime whenever you talk about any kind of expenses, it can be paying to employees, it can be some kind of administrative cost or whatever it is. So it is actually a controlling module. All expenses will be tracked there, okay? So that they can get, cost center reporting, at the end of each of a period, because, they have to see where their expenses company has to have the full control, where the expenses are going, and then how can they minimize the expenses so that the revenue will increase. Okay, and the financial accounting at the end of each and every module, which are the module you're talking about here, at the end, all those actually expenses and liabilities should roll up to the financial accounting, so that all P&L, profit and loss accounts, and then for each legal company code, each legal company, so they can actually submit and then prepare the chart of accounts and then profitability of the company. Okay, so that's the FI is actually stands top on any functional application. Okay, as I said, everything should roll up to that level. Okay, so and then when I say there financial accounting means there is actually asset management is there. Okay, banking will be there, accounts receivable, accounts payable, all actually will come. So in that particular application. Okay, and the sales and distribution is actually any company they would need actually, so depending on what products they make and then how they do their business. So they have to have some kind of a marketing department, sales department, and then and then they bill customers, at the end of the day. Okay, so and the material management is actually again another one. It is actually go hand in hand with many modules here. And one important thing is production planning, and then purchasing and everything, right? So material management is actually what type of materials they need in order to make a product, for example. Then production planning actually will have some kind of ERP, so enterprise resource planning kind of thing. Production planning, they actually ERP schedule means. So if you need if you have to make a product means, you can actually say, so what are the different components you need to make one product, and if they're making 100,000 of that from one product means they can plan, how much material actually you have in stock in the storage location, and then what is actually the what is actually the shortfall of the requirement, and then they can actually purchase department can automate that scheduling orders to the different vendors. So all that actually is possible. That's why it is called. There are different functionalities there, process functionalities are there, like SCM, supply chain management, means from the production to the inventory, you can actually fully control, and then it can actually automate the whole process. That is supply chain management we call. Okay. Similarly, supply relation management is actually something like you have actually the people in the service industries basically. The service industries most of the time they work with different vendors, different people, kind of thing. So then they can actually release the service orders, and then using the CRM they can actually pay people, and then they can invite actually the different different vendors, and then they can actually participate. They can actually send their information, and then they can get the contract, So that supply means those are actually supply means some kind of services, and the relation management is actually means you can control that way. So SRM, SCM, so there are so many different CRM is customer relation management, means sales to sales is basically based on the customer, okay, and supply is based on the vendor. So that's why all actually so various process actually when I say SRM or CRM or all these things, they're not coming somewhere. So they use backend application. On top of it, you have some kind of a automated process implementation, so that either you can use your employees can use it, and then external people also can use those applications, kind of thing. So these are the things actually, from the production planning to the MM and the D. And the 3M is the quality management. Usually, wherever you have the production planning, then the TM will come into the picture, and wherever you have the production planning and the plant maintenance also will come into the picture, because you have to have the maintenance people working on the different production lines or different machines, so they have to work, so usually if any production machine is down, then they have to, there is a production maintenance order, so that maintenance people will go in there and to work on that, to resolve that issue. Okay, so in the in the service industries, you don't see these kind of things, but in the manufacturing industry, definitely yes, people will be working on the different production lines, and then from the HR point of view, any person is working in the company means an employee. Either they can be an employee, either you can treat them as a contractor, or you can treat them as independent contractor, means outside people coming and working here. Okay, so means but at the end, if the person is coming to physically to the location to work, means he is some kind of an employee, whether he's external employee or internal employee, it doesn't matter, but they are employees of the company. Okay, that's why the HR is actually one of the key application. So for any company, because HR is actually nothing but HCM, human capital management. Okay? Means this is where all the people actually will be working in HR module. Will have some kind of a mass data in HR, and then some people, if they are directly working for the company, then they'll get pay. Okay, if they are indirectly working, means like in contract or independent contractor, they're outside people representing outside companies to perform the work there. Okay, then for them, what we call them is 1099 employees, means we don't give the W2 for them, and then they get actually, if they charge $100 per hour, means $100 company will pay to their either directly to that particular person or the person representing that company. So they will get 1099, and then they will pay 5 W2s from that company. Okay, so this is how the HR model high level. Okay, so we'll discuss a little bit more when we go to the HR related overview. Okay, so architecture is client server architecture, and then you have the open site systems, means all these applications, it is not a mandatory to implement. Okay, if I go with SAP only with FI, then I can only activate only those two functions, and then rest will be and the different software. Okay, you can integrate them later. So that's why so if you use all these applications, means they are tightly integrated within SAP platform. Okay, so and then integrated solutions means so they are integrated. If you go all with SAP, and if you are using HR for example PeopleSoft, means that is outside of SAP platform. But so to book actually all your expenses, and because if the finance is on SAP, then you have to bring all your expenses at the end of the day or at the end of the pay period, end of the FI period. You have to bring all that information for the reconciliation point of view. You have to bring it to the FI system. Okay, so like that, that's why the external integration means how you bring the data into SAP. So but in most cases people will use it. Okay, and in exceptional cases, okay, so because nowadays, so most of the companies are actually trying to come back to one core ERP software, either Oracle or SAP like that. So otherwise it will be a system maintenance, and then it is not a good. So if you have more systems to maintain, okay. So and then it is actually integrated in real time. If you have all applications running on SAP, means real time data, whichever the report, whichever the application you go and perform different activities, then everything will be real time. Okay, there is no lapse actually. If you are running applications on another system, means so you have to bring that maybe once in each day or once in each hour. How are you integrating the data back and forth? Okay, that is actually may or may not be as close as all implemented on one platform. Okay, and then SAP also supports multinational currencies, because SAP is not just for US North America. It is actually across the world. It has recent seminar, I think we heard that SAP has more than 40,000 customers, and out of which I think 25,000, close to 25,000 are using actually FI and HR. Okay. Okay, and this is another slide of SAP R3 application. Okay, so just so yeah, FI means the general ledger file level, and the sales and distribution customer orders, and the MM and is purchase requisition and purchase orders. Okay, and then shipment. Okay, and sales and billing is actually invoicing, and applicants are so people who come to work for companies, they apply. This is kind of a talent management. Okay, it's high level, and then employees. Okay, so these are the general terminology usually we use for various applications. Okay. And the next is actually so as I said, so we have that the new business initiatives here. As I said, you can actually have see customer management, CRM, what we call here. Means CRM actually is SAP is a whole all application, but here CRM actually will give you the platform uses the modules, the backend modules like sales, marketing, sales and distribution. And the business warehouse is actually used some kind of analytical reporting, and then SAP is that's what it is. Okay, and if you look at the supply chain management, it uses SAP business logistics, means it includes MM, material management, production planning, quality management, everything will come here. Okay, and this is actually another thing is CF planner and optimizer, SAP we call. Okay, so all these actually again on the BI is actually business intelligence we call, that is business warehouse in general terminology. So it is actually kind of all you can get the data from the external and internal systems from the SAP, and you can actually have you have the different database and then system landscape for that, and then BI can actually get all the data as I said, how frequently they schedule, depending on that. Okay, you get the data, and then all types of different analytical reports which management looks for. Means it can be pie chart, it can be graphs, different type of information based on the different business units. All they can be developed using the BI. BI supports the front end is actually so they use they support VB. Okay, architecture, they support business objects. Nowadays, it's a big thing. Or BI itself has Business Explorer. It can be actually, you can create a queries there using the BI data model, BW data models, and then they can develop some queries, and users can build their own queries as well. Okay, so it is basically will be the SAP will do the reporting, but any kind of the three-dimensional reporting, the multi-level reporting means, so then it slows down the system performance. So the BI is actually is everywhere. The business warehouse call, now they named it as a BI, business intelligence. So it will give us some kind of the analytical report which each business area would need, so that they can see where they are losing the money, where they are making more profit. All the analysis they can make, and then they can bring reduce expenses, and then they can bring the companies to the profitable area. Okay, wherever they are losing money, they can bring them to the they can make them profitable, or they can switch to the different business model for that area. Okay, but analytical report is nowadays actually is a each and every business would need that. That's right. That is the new area now. Okay, and the BI itself is, as I said, SAP business intelligence is nothing but business warehouse. So that also is part of it. Okay. So this is a your new whatever the presentations I use today you will be getting. Okay. So this is actually the basis presentation. Okay. So which I didn't share before because it is changing the architecture and all the things. So this is the latest one. So at least close to the latest one. I don't want to say the latest one. Okay. So and Enjoy SAP is actually a standard SAP solution. They named as Enjoy SAP is the name for that. Okay. So next one is actually another important slide is system architecture. Okay. So SAP basis is actually the bottom of the layer, and then on top of it, okay, so there is actually ABAP me, the programming language. So whatever the functions or operations or programs or transactions what you run and to perform your day-to-day job, everything is coded in the language called ABAP. Okay. So ABAP is a language SAP is the programming language SAP used to build the different coding. Like Oracle uses the SQL, right? SQL, PL, SQL kind of thing. But similarly, SAP is a language called ABAP. Okay. So and so as I said, each and every application runs with the ABAP coding. So the basis is the functionality. Okay, what they do is actually like each people functional area is one area, but to install the system, like you all might be familiar with database administrators. So they are actually specialized to support the database administrators like Oracle, Microsoft SQL, Sybase like that. So their database, but SAP also on top of SAP also install on various databases. Okay, so we'll see one of the slides is there. Okay, various databases. So on top of it, SAP itself actually has an administration group. That administration team is called Basics. Okay, so they get the SAP software series, and then they install, and then they plan for some backups, and then like online backup, offline backup, and all those things actually they do. And the weekend they do the system maintenance, they down the system to make sure. Okay, so they clean up all the processes, and then so that it will improve the it will speed the system performance during the VPS. Okay, depending on how big or how small they plan this kind of maintenance activities once in a month or once in bi-weekly. So depending on the size of their what you call transactions. How big is the company? Means if the small company means they don't have much activity, but if the big companies means they have more activities depending on the size. And then if it's very big activities, it's very tough for them to down the systems, right? So it means they have to wait and then plan in advance, and then when they want to go offline, so that no user can log into the system, and then they have to find the availability of the system. Then based on that, they will plan for the system maintenance. Okay, and this is again applications are different. So users will come and they log into that user interfaces. UI will call. Okay, and then programming interfaces means all programmers will go to what we call ABAP Workbench. They go and then they work. Okay, and they do the custom programs, or they do enhancements, whatever the work they have to do, they do. Okay, any user community will go there. Okay. So now the landscape, how actually, whenever, you go to any project, how the systems will be, delivered or set up for us to work there. Okay. So usually the system landscape, the term we use, the system landscape in any environment is actually called, development system, okay, quality system, okay, and the production system. In the development system, all the development activities, will be done there. And then quality systems, when the development is complete, so means, when you go to the, project, there will be a development phase, and then there will be a testing phase, and then the go live phase. Correct? These are the three phases which you classify. Means the development is actually here, and then, QA means this is where you test, and then you train the users also. And then the users will do the UATs, user acceptance testing, everything will be performed here. Okay? And once everything is done successfully here, then based on the project timeline, so all the work what we have done in the development will be moved to the production system. Okay? That's when, again, the same, whatever the full work we did here in the quality system, you have to redo that, like, the bringing all the legacy data into the production system, okay, as of that date, and then validate the data, and then bring all the results if you want. If you are going in the middle of the year payroll, okay, all that information you have to bring, and then you have to validate. Each and every function area people are responsible for validating the data and making sure the data is converted successfully, and then no issues, and then users will do the validate before the system gets released for the end users. Okay, so that's usually the project timeline planning. Okay, so when it comes to development system, see here there are actually three boxes here. So the three boxes is called actually, as you said, it is actually client server architecture. So it's actually not only that, it actually supports the multiple system landscapes. It means if I'm HR configuration specialist, then I would get access to the development system and quality system as well. But development system, that's where I'm responsible for my functional area, so that I will get my requirements. I will get my requirements from the user community, and then I'll plan how that information can be translated to SAP supported system. Okay, so means that is what actually the planning design. So I design based on the requirements I got. I design based on SAP, how SAP, allow to bring people into the HR. Based on that, I will, plan for the HR structure so that people can be, move into that HR structure, move into those HR structure. Okay, so successfully without any other. So we plan that design, and then once the design is actually confirmed or approved by the end user means subject matter expert, whoever it is, and then we start the customizing work. So when I do the customizing work, okay, all the time, so I cannot simply do the customization. So I need some kind of a test environment, and then I also need some kind of a sandbox means play. So means it doesn't affect any of the work I do in the customization. I need a separate box so that I can actually implement my design thoughts there to make sure that it works or not. Okay, so that's why usually in the development system, usually you will see three individual clients you call. So one is a customizing client where you can only do the design work. Okay, based on the design, you can only configure the system. Okay, and then save the changes. Okay, so when I save the changes, usually the recommendation is we don't do any testing there. So means when I make any system configuration here, then how can I test it? That's why that is called a test. It will be a separate test system in the development environment. Okay, so in the that's called unit testing client we call. Okay, so and then there we test it. If I see any issues in the testing here, still I have the ability to go back and correct it here and then retest here. Okay, but so before I do this testing configuration in the customizing system, then I still before that I need another place where I can implement my thought to make sure it works correctly or not. So that's what the sandbox. So sandbox is standalone with the development system. So you can actually do the configuration there. You can also test there. That's why it is called sandbox. Okay. So you can do the configuration, you can do the testing, and everything can be done in this particular system. That's why the sandbox system also is available. Okay. So all in the development environment, usually this is the SAP recommended, architecture. Okay. In the quality, there will be, the recommended is actually two systems. Okay, one is actually the integration testing, whatever you did in the unit testing, that is by yourself. Okay, when you say integration means, so there will be a end-to-end planning depending on how many modules you are implementing. So based on that, okay, so if you are responsible for HR, somebody is responsible for benefits, somebody is responsible for time, somebody is responsible for payroll. So means you are doing actually end-to-end testing here. So make sure, so HR people will enroll employees to the different companies, okay, different type of employees like, so staff, exempt, non-exempt like that, or union employees. They hire, employees, and then the benefit person takes those employees based on their eligibility. They enroll those employees into the benefits, and then once they are done, the people will, in time, they will actually, take those employees set and then enter the time for them, making sure all the time calculations are working correctly, and then all the vacation and then sick and all other PTO balances are updated correctly. Make sure, because that's what end-to-end testing means, integrated testing you are doing for the first time. Okay, that usually we test individually, make sure that each and every in the test client, but that may not be the good enough when you are going to the production. So the quality is a place where you can actually, you and then user community also will come to the quality system to test various real-time business cases, so that if any issues you find there, you still have the ability to go back and correct in the customizing system, and then you can move those things back here for retesting the quality system. So once everything is done successfully there, then you plan training the users, because sometimes the people will keep the training system separate, temporarily, or some cases, if everything is cost and then maintenance involved, right? So it depends on that, whether it is temporary or permanent. There will be some training system will be there, and then that training system will have some kind of a real-time production data will load there, and then so people will come and then based on the training manual, the end users will be trained, so that they come with how to hire employees. They'll come with recent hires of employees, and then they come and then they try to hire in with the training system, making sure it is actually they understand the flow. So before they start the training and then usually goes with first you train, you explain, and then you give some kind of a business process document for the end users, and then they go and go step by step based on the document they get, and then they perform their job role. That's when the full security also will be checked. Means if HR administrator means HR administrator is whatever they're supposed to do in the current business, and then are they able to do in the same way in the SAP. So all those, if any area, any issues means that is a place where we can identify, and then we can go back and correct by the respective team lead. Okay, so that's what is a QA system. So the integration testing will be done, and then user acceptance testing will be done there, and end users will be trained there. Okay, and once everything is done, then actually the production system means that's what the go live. So they prepare the system for the production cutoff and then go live and plan. Okay, and once it is the plan means, so most of the time whatever the work you did, okay, the running the scripts means converting the legacy system data into the SAP. You have to bring them. So all the data from the HR point of view, you have to bring the HR apply data, and so whatever the HR time or PTO balances, whatever they are in the legacy system, you have to bring them here, so that SAP will start accumulating from there onwards. So means so whatever 401k amounts paid up to that point of time, you have to bring over to SAP, so that from there SAP will continue to calculate 401k amounts kind of thing. So you have to bring all HR data, all balances wherever it is required, so that payroll will start running successfully with no issues. So those are actually the planning. So project plan means so you have to plan all these things: development, what actually you do, and quality, what actually you do, and production, what actually you do. So in the production systems we get the limited access. Okay. So because we don't have to do anything there, that's where the production system is majority of work will be done by the end user. Okay, we'll get to the limit access, but to troubleshoot the issues, production support kind of thing. But we don't do whatever the work we do in the development, we don't do in the production system. Okay, and change management is actually basically, you have to understand. So one we discuss the customizing means each individual applications people will, like what our scope is customizing basically. So means functional people actually will do the customizing work, and then any ABAP Workbench means the technical we call. The technical people actually, we mean a functional person analyze the business requirement, and if there is any gap in the system, and then we'll work with ABAP people so that we can develop some kind of a custom development. If that needs a custom program, needs a report, we can develop that. Sometimes you have to develop a complete solution as a custom application sometimes. So and then in between, before we go to the complete custom solution, then we also look at the enhancement. Is there any place where we can actually enhance the SAP standard? Enhancements actually SAP will allow to modify the SAP standard program to some extent. Okay, so we will try to identify wherever it is possible that we try to enhance. If there is no enhancement parts or enhancement we call customer exists we call, so they are not available, then we plan for the custom development work. Okay, so these are the three things actually really you need to understand. Customizing, enhancements means the user exists we call, or that is that so many different things come here. Okay, and then ABAP Workbench is a place where any technical person will go and to develop the program, to modify the program. Okay, and this is this one. Okay. Just see the higher level, okay, hardware and the databases. Okay, so say C DB2, or DB2 Informatics, Oracle, Microsoft. Okay, and SQL. Like this. These are the different databases. Okay, now the development system we discussed and the quality system. Okay, and then what environment they run? Okay, Windows 20, OS2, different and then web GUI is actually the browser. Okay, so some of the applications we can deliver for the web GUI. So means so in the portal side, so users can go log into the portal and then they can actually perform the transaction. So basically web GUIs and web servers, web GUI they give some kind of a extra feel for the user, like the back-end transactions maybe look and feel may not be that good. If you enable them to the web GUI, means you can actually use some kind of themes so that users can see the good user interface there. So and there is one slide I liked here. I think 24. Okay, this is actually the development environment. Means how actually it's little bit workbench organizer kind of thing. So SAP application development and environment. Okay, this is actually see SAP application repository. Means when I say repository means most of these are actually classified as as I said, the program based. Okay, so whatever the work you do, if you are going to the FI transaction to create a general posting document, for example, means that they have to go to one place where to create. So behind that, actually, you will that particular transaction will be running with different programs. Okay, so all actually is called data application repository. Okay, so means there will be different type of technical components. You can classify the development means you can classify them into the different areas. ABAP editor, where you run a program, where you write a program, or where you modify the program, means you can see the code and they can modify the code. Okay, and for that, you can I modify? No. So people actually who are the developers, they get the developer key access. Those people only can modify the programs. Okay, and then write the program. So, and then the ABAP dictionary is actually kind of database table. All the tables, if you want to enhance the existing table, or you want to create a custom tables and everything, actually is possible right from creating the fields. Okay, and so the structure of the table and giving table maintenance and everything actually is possible through data dictionary. Okay, and then data modeler, again, you can actually give some kind of data model, means what are the parameters, qualities. You can actually build the data model, and then before you develop a table. Okay, but they can use using the data modeler. And then ABAP processor. When I say ABAP processor, means you can actually for example, you want to improve the performance of a particular program. So means you don't know, sometimes you don't know where it is taking longer time. You can set the trace on that program. So then actually you can see in which step it is taking more time, and for that actually place they can actually go back and enhance. There will be performance tracing and then general tracing kind of thing. So you can actually, if it is a performance related, then actually you can see where it is taking more time. So then the developers can go there, particular logic, and then see how can they modify the code of that particular section. Okay, and the debugger is actually again SAP allows to debug the SAP programs. Okay, so you can actually troubleshoot the issue. Sometimes you don't know from where you are getting the error, so you can set the debugger on so that it will you can go step by step, and then you can see where actually it is giving the error, it is not doing right, something like that. You can identify that thing, and then you can go back and you can analyze further. Okay, so and fine tuning, performance tuning also is possible using the ABAP process. And then function modules is actually is a kind of behind that is a code, ABAP code only writing, but it's called function module, and you can actually create a most commonly used part of the code. You can actually implement into a function module, and people can use the same function module again and again and wherever they need it. Okay, instead of writing the same code again and again, they can do that. Okay, and menu painter and screen painter is actually whenever you go to the screens, you will see so many screen layout. Okay, which will come onto what place of the screen kind of thing. And then menu painter is actually called icons. What are the different icons you see? Like create, change, display, okay, print, like that. There are different icons. So means the screen painter will have all those icons also embed on that. So, but this again, it is a developer. Okay, and the reporting tool. Okay, so there will be kind of all the reports can be different programs can be grouped together. Like information system we call, and then you can bring them together, and then you can see the menus. And also there is a reporting tool called queries. So you can actually develop some kind of a info set for each functional area. That's deliver so many. So and then you can give access, or you can create your own info sets also. Based on our experience and based on the user requirements. So because most of all the time, we don't go with the custom reports all the time. So depending on what is possible through the reporting tool, we try to give some kind of a queries for the user so that they can run the queries on their own. Okay, and then they can create the queries on their own. So, but for that, what they need is actually info set. Okay, so means HR data means when they want to run the HR data, means what are the different types of data you store for the employees in the different tables. So we can create that as a set so that they can pick and choose which field they want to use and then for the report instead of developing 100 reports for various reasons. Okay, so that is called actually we have info set, okay, and then we have the ad hoc queries. Okay, so that is a part of the reporting tool. So this is the development environment, means the programming side. What you have to know some of the buzzwords. Okay, so this is what actually ABAP the programming look like. Okay, this different language. Okay, see here the code. This is what the user interface for the ABAP editor. Okay, and this is actually another a view of the editor. Okay, now okay, so there is actually up to this is good enough here. Okay, so but as I said, I will share this. I will send it to Madhu, and they will give you this presentation when they load the material for you guys. Okay, and now back to HR. Okay, so now see when you talk about the HR. Okay, see. Okay. See SAP, ERP, HCM functionality overview. Okay. See here, so our central focus in HR is actually employee, right? So as I said, employee means it can be external employees, means coming and working, performing the work for the companies here. So they're called contract population, and then employees actually who work for the company and then paid by the company. Okay. So that's high level you can think about that at this time. So where to bring the employees into the company means, okay, so what are the different areas actually you should really consider? Okay, so here, any time actually we start here, talent management side. The talent management means, see here, what are the components or the functional areas are within HR is considered as talent management. So recruiting, career management, success management, enterprise learning, okay, performance management, and compensation management. All these are the different functional modules within HCM, and they are combined together is a process. SAP has given a process name called talent management. Okay, so what actually before we go to other areas, let us actually focus on the recruiting. Okay, means when you talk about the employee, it means where we start the where employee's journey starts with any company. Means first of all, he has to be selected, right? So he has to be selected, to work for the company. Then only employee journey begins. But what is the process? Where the process that triggers are involved, to bring the employee into the company. That is what the recruitment. Okay, so the recruiting is a process that is the starting point to bring any employee, okay, to a company. So how the recruitment process will begin. Okay, means there has to be a requirement within the business some one business area that triggers for the recruiting process. So means who initiate that requirement. So means maybe the head of that business area. Means if they are implementing a new project, if they see what is the current employees workloads and what are the gaps they have, they identify the resources. So means once the resource, if they see a resource gap in the resource, okay, or some of the resources are not available, to perform that, then there is a gap. So then they will try to fill that gap by bringing people from the outside. So means it can be, depending on if it is temporary, they can actually consult with their vendors to get that position filled. If it is a permanent, then they have to create the job requisition. Okay, so that initiates the recruiting process. The job requisitions actually will be created by the head of the department of that particular business area. Okay, and then it will be approved by the head of that for example IT department, for example, and then it will go to the HR for the recruiting process, initial recruiting process. So there will be a recruiter assigned to handle, okay, so this kind of requirements. Okay, so depending on what type of job and everything, how big is the recruiting department in the company, depending on that, so different recruiters will be assigned to handle that business request, job request. So then once they get, assume that okay, so we have implemented recruiting system, okay, electronic e-recruiting system for the company. So then the recruiting actually process actually what they do. So that recruiter will actually try to create the requisition in that recruiting software, okay, and then they assign who is the hiring manager and who is the recruiting manager for that particular one, and then they will try to publish that job request. When it says job request means, so since I said e-recruiting is already there, means that the e-recruiting software is integrated with different job boards like career jobs, okay, computer jobs, job monster, okay, dice like that. So there will be different things actually, and in addition to that, they will also post to the company's portal. Most of the companies nowadays have their own portal for the career site, career jobs. Right? So besides that, they are also published to the outside, means that job boards they call. So they publish, okay, so to the job boards, and then they get the requirements, right? So they get the some applicants will respond to the external job board, and then they bring that information back to here. That's called there will be process called parsing the resumes. Okay, so if you have a 10-page document, means you don't have to bring all 10 pages, right? You can actually create the short profile by parsing some key data from the resumes. So they can create that, and then the short profiles, and then they'll send to hiring managers. So hiring manager will screen them, okay, and some people actually will directly go to the company website. So constantly they check if it's a big company, and they go and monitor, and then they go and create the upload the resume, and then create the temporary user password so that they can load the data. Okay, so all actually will be collected by the recruiter. Will be summarize all the information. They do the preliminary screening, and then once they like something, then actually they will communicate to the hiring manager, and hiring manager will go through the resumes and profiles, make sure that that's all the skills he's looking for. Okay, and then for likes, they go for the phone screening. Okay, means that's what phone interviews, and then technical interviews. Okay, and then if they still want to have, then they bring employees into the personal screening. Okay, so it means so the employees will come to face to face with the managers and the other people in the department, and then you will likes it, then you will get the order, the job job order, what you call offer letter. So that's what the recruiting. And once actually that our process is done, means actually now employee is ready for that particular applicant is ready for onboarding as an employee. So means during the recruitment process, okay, you already capture some of the basic minimum information from the employee and from the organization, means for which position you are trying to recruit, and then for which company is going to work, okay, and what type of job it is. Okay, that is the company side information. From the employee side, you are getting the employee first name, last name, social security number. So basic data you are capturing, employee address, okay, what is the employee's family details in some cases. You will get all that information. So there is some kind of a basic information you already capture. So as a recruitment process, and then the onboarding is the next step. So they hire employee as an onboarded employee into HR system with the minimum HR data, not the full HR data, minimum HR data. And then once employee accepts the offer letter, employee will be given to the access to the employee self-service portal, so that they can onboarding portal, so that they can go and complete the rest of the information. Whatever the information means, there will be some of the documents they have to fill, or they have to read the documents, complete policies and everything. they complete everything and then they say done. So once employee completes actually, the onboarding steps, what they're supposed to do, then HR will go back to complete the full hire for that employee. Okay, that was a complete hire. So means employee is now ready for paying in payroll kind of thing. So means they capture what is employee bank information, they capture where employee is working, they capture what are the employee tax information, they capture what is the employee's planned work schedule, like 8 hours a day or for 10 hours a day or 4 hours like that. So all this information they capture, and then what is the business status of the employee, what is the tax information of the employee, what is the W4 information of the employee. Okay, all that information which is really important to start employee, in payroll system. Okay, so that's what the employee. Now, so to get that employee, what really, that's where actually our focus, in the class here, so starting next weekend. So means that is actually really is workforce process management. Okay? So means to bring employee, I said simply, recruiting and bringing employee here, but to bring employee into what company means, so means there is some kind of HR structure you have to understand. So what type of employee means? There will be some HR structure to classify your employees in the HR SAP module. Okay. To fill a position means you have to understand, in which department employee is going to work. So you have to understand. So that actually, without knowing all these things, okay, so it is not, you can talk, but so you have to understand the process. When it says onboarding means, so in HR is a process actually, so means you cannot simply, bring employee into the HR means you can go to the one or two screens and then create the data, not like that. So there is a process involved, like onboarding is a process, means hiring is a process, rehiring is a process, terminating is a process. So an employee is going on long leave or absence is a process. Okay, transferring employee is a process. Means those are the things actually you don't do on day-to-day basis. They happen once in a period of the time. Like promotion is a process. So, right? If employee is getting promoted to the next level, this is a process. So means all these are the HR process, but how you implement all these processes is called employee administration. Okay. In the employee administration, you have to set up a structure, like which company code is working for, and which business, which physical work location is going to work. Okay, and then what type of employee is staff employee, exempt or non-exempt. Okay, union employee, so a contract employee or independent contractor, as a student worker or interns or temporary worker. So means there are so many different type of classifications within employees. Okay, so those are the different structures. And then the position means which position employee is working for, like manager or the HR functional lead, or what is the different title position. So that actually will configure under organization management. So in the organization management, what we do, we set up the department hierarchy, means which cost center employee is working for, and means how many positions are there for that cost center, and then so who is actually head of the department for that particular department, and we can place a reporting to that direct report for that particular position. All that reporting hierarchy and everything will be done in the organization management. Okay, so means once you have that organization management is done, you take the position to fill the employees. Means to fill the employee means that's when you have to have all the HR structures available. So like so what company code, what employee group, and what pay frequency the employee is getting paid for weekly or bi-weekly or monthly. All that part of our employee administration configuration. Okay, and global employee is actually another thing actually we'll be discussing as part of the employee administration. And then so benefits. Now we had employee into SAP HR system. Now we have to think about what is the next level in the process management. Means, so the process means labor to cash. You are collecting the time for the employee and you are paying the employee, right? So in between, you cannot collect the time just like that. So you have to have the employee has master data in HR system. First, that is important. Okay. So that's why employee administration and management will provide the basic requirements so that you can bring employees into that company, without any error. Okay, And then once employees are in HR, then you have to plan for the benefits management. So means you have to enroll employee into the benefits. Means if it's a temporary employee, company may not be giving any benefits. If you're independent contractor, company may not be giving any benefits. If the employee working fully for the employer, your in a company, then they give some kind of a benefit. That means employees are eligible for benefits, some employees are eligible for part of the benefits, partial benefits, like that. Means so there is a requirement in the benefit module. Each and every person may not be getting the same set of benefits. Just the grouping. You have to group employees based on where they work. And that you have to plan what type of employee he is, full-time employee, part-time employee, or union employee, like that. You can provide the different type of benefit offer for the employee. Okay, so that is actually another module within HR. Okay? And then we'll actually discuss 30% of 30 to 40% of the time. Okay, so because again the time and payroll are the two big modules. So we'll give what we really need to understand our payroll and to understand our HR. To do that part means 30 to 40% of the time we'll be doing. Okay, and then full payroll we'll do. Okay, in the payroll is actually, so again at the end what you do. So so I have employee hired. Okay, and I know what pay frequency we are running payroll, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. Depending on that, so payroll will be initiated. So when the payroll will be ready to run, then make sure that the time is actually entered for the each and every employee, and the time is approved by the business managers, and make sure that no employee has time entered and not approved. Make sure that all hours entered in the system are approved. That is what the time administrator's job. They make sure each and every business area, they make sure that the time is entered for them, all active employees, and the time has been approved by the individual manager. Okay, they make sure that, and then they send a notification to the payroll department to run payroll for that particular pay frequency. Okay, and the payroll will initiate that, and then what they do, they run payroll in test mode first, make sure that there are no errors in the payroll, and then if all employees are successful, they run the live payroll for those employees, and then they make the payment process for the employees. Like some employees may be getting by check, paid by check. Some employees may be getting payments by bank transfer, okay, direct deposits. So and then after that, so some employees will get access to the employee self-service, so that they can go and view the pay stubs online. And some employees actually they may not be eligible to get ESS access. Then business has to plan to print the pay stubs for those employees and mail those pay stubs to employees' home. So hand over if the employees are locally available, print there and then hand over to employees individually. So depending on various methods they follow. Okay, and then once that is done, and then the posting process will be initiated. Like all expenses and liabilities from the payroll expenses will be posted to the general ledger. Okay, and then vendor posting will be initiated. Means so tax, what are the tax deductions they have taken from employees during the payroll process, they have to be remitted to the different tax authorities, like federal government, okay, IRS is right, and then state governments or local governments, wherever they are, employees are working locally, as they said, living in locally. So you have to pay local residence tax or based on the work state residence work state taxes. Okay, and all those things will be calculated with the payroll process, and then they have to be remitted to the different tax authorities. Means they are vendors, in the system. Otherwise, how can you make the payment to the outside people? So they have to be a vendor. So means there will be and there will be vendors like benefit providers will be vendors, and tax authorities will be vendors, and then anytime an employee has a garnishment will be vendors. So all those people will be called payroll vendors. But so you have to remit the money to those vendor accounts. Okay, from each and every employee, whatever you have deducted from the employee paycheck, you have to remit to those vendors. Okay, and then the legal reporting will be done. Some legal reporting means the tax reporting here, and use some of the legal reporting actually you have to do on monthly basis. Some you have to do on quarterly basis, and like W2 you have to do the annual reporting. Okay, so all these things are actually possible in the workforce process management. So this is where actually our most of job opportunities. Okay, and then we actually focus here. Okay, And now the next one is actually called, self-service applications here. Usually we use most of the time, there is a manager self-service and the employee self-service here. Again, you have to have some kind of architecture called portal. So, you have to use the portal to enable these self-service applications. So it means the system uses single sign-on when you go to that, company, network username password. Usually we use the same, single sign-on, that is called single sign-on. We use the same, username with password to go to the portal applications also. And then, so based on, based on the role, if you're a manager, you get employee self-service role and also the manager self-service role. Okay. When you go to the manager self-service role, what I mentioned here in the organization management, you build a reporting structure here. The manager can see only his direct reports when they go to the manager self-service. So what actions they can perform from there? The manager can view employees, he is reporting employees compensation. Okay, he is reporting direct reports, the development plans if they have any. If they, direct reports, leave balances what they have, and then manager can plan for their compensation management, like what bonus they are getting, and they want to pay, how much you want to pay as a bonus, and they can plan, and then how much increase he wants to give for each and every employee. So all that they can plan for the manager self-service application. Okay, and then he can also approve the time for the employees. Okay, and if the leave request is enabled, if employee requests for the leave, then workflow will be triggered, and then manager can go and then approve the leave. Okay, so all that actually is is possible through manager self-service. Okay, and employee self-service means each individual employee, whoever get access, they can go and then they can view, they can perform certain services only they are allowed. Like for example, I change my address. Okay, so then that they can see the residence address as part of the self-service, service. So then they can go and change their address. Okay, if the employee wants to change the bank account, so they can go and do that. Okay, so and employee wants to pay stuff, they can view that. Employee wants to do time, they can do that. So depending on which employees are getting the employee self-service, so they will be given, they will be given access to that particular, URL, the portal link. Then they can maintain these services. Okay, and open enrollment at the end of each year, open enrollment for the benefits comes into the picture. Then employee self-service can, people will go there, and then employees can change their current benefits if they want. Okay, so all these are possible through the employee self-service portal. Okay, and then again, these are analytical reports are available. So let us not worry about that. And in the talent management, other things actually comes into the picture is career and career management, succession management. So usually, this kind of goes to the development plan. So when you have the 1,000 employees in the company, for example, all 1,000 employees may not have a career plan. Only some employees actually who are identified them as a top performers, and companies want to retain them. So then, and bring those employees to the development plan of the company. So that means instead of going, outside to bring manager, if the manager is retiring, means they can groom somebody within the company. So they have to identify the talented people. So for them, they have to have some kind of a career planning, development plan. And then, so once actually, they are ready to go to the next level, then they get the promotion, not each and everybody, right? So that's why the career and succession planning will in small areas, but conceptually you have to understand development plan. May need some portions of these areas configured. Okay, and the performance management each year. Okay, so before you go to the compensate your employees, performance management is another one. So where employees will be given the goal setting, and then it will be the mid-year review the manager will do, where the employees sitting with each of the goal. And if an employee needs some kind of help, they can review and then help try to complete the goals by the end of the year. Okay, and then at the end of the year, so employees will be rated based on their performance of the year, and then manager, and then the co-workers of the employees. So we'll rate employees, performance there, and then based on that, manager will go and rate employees' overall performance for the year with the manager comments. So, and for that, employee actually will get that information back for the feedback, and then employee is okay with that manager comment. They approve, and then they finalize the performance thing. So that is what are the rating you get there. That may be the one of the key factor for the compensation. How much bonus is supposed to be getting paid for, and what is actually your salary increase will be. Okay, all those things actually. Okay, one of the metrics is a performance evaluation. Okay, and enterprise learning is called e-learning. Is now it's called LSO, learning solution. So it's actually again the portal based. You can actually think about internal training and external training here. So this involves actually again the training modules, whether you are using what type of trainings companies will give for the employees, and what type of certification programs employees have to go through each year to perform their jobs, kind of thing. All those things are possible through learning solution. Again, up to the industries, so to what level they want to use this kind of learning solution. Okay, sometimes these training programs can be classroom training. Sometimes the programs is actually web-based training, or web-based means CBT, computer-based training programs, and some maybe just they have to go to the documents and then they have to accept. They have to say that electronic signature. What is that? It means so they have to click done. Accept means they are done. Kind of thing. There will be different type of training programs to be there in the company. Okay, and yeah, high level. These are the things actually. You should think about it. Okay, and again, the reporting and benchmarking and all those things people will do outside. As I said, for each and every employee, they don't go with this kind of thing. Okay, so if the employees have some kind of development plan, and if they reach to the director and then some, some executive level, then they may have some kind of, external companies they hire to evaluate and then to mentor those individuals, so that they can actually they can get the feedback on the employees' performance. They go back and give their study and where they have to improve, kind of thing. So like that. So they have most of the time companies actually will depending on internal resources for most of the employees and the manager feedback. Okay, that will go by that. So, but benchmarking is actually another thing. Is actually for each and every jobs what companies are using. So they identify which jobs. Most of the time it comes for the staff positions. So they make sure that so the companies are paying at par with the average market rate. So make sure that they're not below the average market rate. That's why they get the job classification what they use in the company. They send to the external job survey companies, and then they give the feedback, and then they can bring that information back to SAP. Whether they can bring or they can put into some kind of a access database. So it is up to the business, but they can bring those information back, and then they review so that if they are not at par with the average market rate, then they try to bring employees into the into that level. Otherwise, people will leave, right? That's why they will try to minimize the employee turnover. Otherwise, that's what the turnover and retention means. So it is a kind of a policy. What are the different type of analytical reports they are getting from internally or externally? They have to analyze, and then they have to and then most of the companies also will have exit interviews. Why do they do that? Because they want to know the reason why employees are leaving. So all that information they will summarize, and then they will come up with some kind of HR policies, and then they will come up with better benefit and compensation packages so that they can retain the employees in the organization. Okay, so that's why these are called planning and analytical tools. All these things actually, in turnover and then retention analysis kind of thing, can be implemented in BI, business integration, so they can get all employee data and then see how many employees are leaving the company, in a year. So the turnover, if the turnover is less, so the retention is strong in the company. If the turnover is more, the side effects are employers actually their unemployment insurance rate will increase because most employees are coming and going, means that triggers unemployment rate will go up, because the employees leaving the company means terminated from the company means what if they don't get a job next 4 months, means they qualify for unemployment. Okay, so then they they go and claim the get the depending on the I'm not sure what is how much salary they get. I think 1/3 or half of the salary, something like that. So they have some kind of a points based on that they are eligible to get some kind of a unemployment pay. Okay, if the people are claiming unemployment pay from the states, they actually have to get the money back. Somehow that's why they increase the unemployment rate for the employers. Okay, so these are the side effects. The turnover is more, so not just not just new recruiting costs. Means they have to bring another employee. That is another recruiting process they have to pay, and then sometimes they have to pay for the recruiting commissions they have to pay to bring those employees into the company, and it takes actually 2-3 months process. And for that, a new employee, again, you have to give the 3 months probationary period to make sure that employee settles and then perform the based on the job. So it means there's so much money actually you are spending, and besides that, so your company's unemployment rate will increase. So that's why it's just employee turnover and retention. So so that is also one of the key factor. So for the companies, we all look actually. Company stability means the company stability comes like that. So if the company employees are frequently moving, we think that okay, the company is laying up people so fast, like to take this kind of thing, right? That's why you have to consider all those all these factors before you choose any employer. Okay. So now actually it is time for questions again. Whatever we use here. So not one second. So before we open for the question, I want to give a little bit of 15 minutes overview on another presentation here. This is again not. This is actually a quick summary of workforce process management. Not this one. So discuss about this. I think not this one. Let's see. Meditation code. Just this diagram will give you some kind of good picture of the data flow. Okay. See here. So master data. This is where actually employee data resides. Okay, and in addition to that, organizational management data like a department position hierarchy will be the part of this, and then the benefits data also. It means that is considered as a master data. So means once you have the master data, means you will get some kind of a, if you are using benefit providers outside, okay, so then you can get the data from the benefit providers to SAP here, or you can send some kind of a demographic data to the external benefit providers. Okay, so means interfaces is actually inbound and outbound we call. Okay, so inbound means what data you are getting into SAP, and outbound is what data you are sending from SAP. to external people. So then again, that is what, and then this master data is a key for, so for your payroll process, for your time process. So means without having an employee number here, I cannot record the time and I cannot run the payroll. Okay. So now, with the time, so what are the different methods you do? The time, sometimes the time management is called, and then people will be using the different type of time. Employees will be entering time from the ESL. Employees will be using time administrator will be using time for a different group of employees. Means that they may manually create it or they may run the program to load the data from Excel file to SAP. Okay, and some employees actually like production workers, for example, they may be using the clock in, clock out, time clocks. So the time clocks we can integrate to get the data to SAP time management. Okay, and once that the time actually is captured for each and every employee, the time evaluation process, which employees actually should be evaluated through the time management process. Then there will be means which employees we evaluate, the employees whom you get paid through payroll. If it is contract employees or the 1099 employees, we don't have to bring them into the time evaluation because they are getting paid based on the invoices, right? So we don't pay them directly, okay, from the payroll. So the system will identify which employees should go through the time management process. Then they will be evaluated, and then wage type means the type of earning is how many regular hours, how many overtime hours, how many vacation hours, like that. It will generate the hours for the wage types, okay, and then payroll will ready. The payroll will be reading the master data for employees, and then it includes all the tax information for employees and what bank information, what address, and everything will be imported from the master data to payroll system, and also any time available for that employee, then it will try to import that data. And if it is salary employee, hourly employee, based on that, it will process the payroll. Okay, and once it is processed, the payroll will be created the database for those employees, each and every employee in the pay period. Okay, and then that is a result available stored in one of the database table. Okay, and that information is actually will be used for the subsequent steps, which are called payment process. Okay, print checks on the DME means, so the direct deposit, it generates a file, and then file will be uploaded to the banks. Okay, and then the next step is FICO posting. The expenses and liabilities will be booked into the financial accounting. That's called general ledger. Okay, and then certain liabilities will be cleared for the third party, means vendor. Like tax information should be paid to the tax authorities like New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Any federal taxes should go to the IRS. So means they will be remitted to the those vendors, how the payroll is integrated to that, and then benefits will go to the benefit providers. Okay, so that's called AP, accounts payable. So means vendors will be created in accounts payable, payroll vendors will be created in accounts payable module, and then all the liabilities will be cleared, and then vendors will be given credit, so that based on the pay frequency to the vendor. So some employees, some vendors will be paid immediately, some employees will be paid end of each month, some vendors will be paid quarterly, like that. So depending on the what are the payments are for those vendors, based on that payments will be made to those vendors by AP department. Okay, this is another good thing actually. This will give you, I suggest each and everybody to go through this. Okay, this is a very old presentation, but still it will give you some kind of a project understanding. How we plan. You see here, what are the different things we plan. Okay, and then how we plan the resources, like that. So it kind of helps really since you are all new, and then when you go to the first time project, so this will help to understand certain terminology we use in the project side. Okay, so whatever the presentations are used today, you will get you will get, okay, as part of our course material.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now open for questions. We have half hour time.
Okay. I have a quick question. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
A quick question. I see that you gave us some introduction on, the R3 basis and all that, right? My question is this HCM training that we are going to get, is that going to be on ECC6 or?
Yeah, it is ECC.
It's ECC6, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we have so many versions, so now actually we call ERP 6.4, 6. So 5 so now 6 onwards actually now we're not calling as 6.4, 6.5. The old version we used to call like that. Now it is ECC with the enhancement at HP 6 or HP 5, HP 7, like that.
Okay.
Okay. So at ITMS we use HP 5. Okay. So so now it is actually HP 7 is there. So depending on that's called enhancement pack we call.
Okay. Enhancement pack. Okay.
Yeah, EHP means enhancement pack.
And okay.
Earlier, we used, in the older days, we used to call, 5.1, 5.2, kind of thing. Now with ECC, they changed that terminology to, EHP1, EHP2, EHP3, like that.
Oh, okay.
Even if they call 6.4, 6.5, 0.5 is nothing but enhancement pack 5.
Oh, okay. Got it. Perfect. Okay. So in the actual training, I know you said that we'll spend the majority of our time in the workforce, project that payroll and all that area, workforce process management. But are we gonna touch spend at least a little bit time on the others so we get some overall,
Actually, what usually we do is, we start with actually, organization management we call. It means, how you build the org structure. That is key. Means that where the person comes to hire an employee. So, but it is little, tough initially, but that's where we start all the time. And once you understand the complete building the architecture, then we go to the employee administration module, which we call personal administration. So where you will know. So you need organizational plan there, but but before discussing that, as part of personal administration, we go with a separate module, at least for one and a half day. And then go to the person for the one full weekend. So usually the 2 weeks I take just to cover metadata.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and one week actually, for benefits, and two and a half full weeks for payroll. Total, 5 weeks to 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
So that, depending on how you guys progress, okay, so sometimes I slow down, sometimes, I go with the phase, same phase, and then use, that extra time for that time management side, so that I can use some kind of a good overview, not just this quality.
Okay.
Perfect. Usually that's how usually I do, okay. Usually, we plan only 4 weeks, but, it is very tough. The course package what, I have chosen to deliver. It is very tough to deliver in the 4 weeks. That's why my classes will go always 5.5 weeks minimum.
Right. Okay.
So I expect the same commitment, okay, from each and everybody, because, so I know it is tough sometimes, the full weekend and then working, and then spending full weekends here. But you have no option when you are looking for some kind of a career change.
Correct. I understand. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Well, I guess that's all from me.
Yeah. And does anybody have any other questions? Madhu, are you there? I don't know.
Hello?
Yeah, Madhu?
No, Krishna, this is Rajvi, another person who joined orientation a little bit later.
Hi.
Actually, I have a question. Just like you said, bases have their own screen where we put the coding. Like Cognos has their own screen where we do all that work. So, like in SAP HR, I mean HCM, is there any particular screen that we work on, because it's kind of a module, right? Or it's like actually, overall?
Yeah, it is actually, as I said, okay, SAP is a, transaction-driven module. Okay, doesn't matter which module you learn for, it is a transaction-driven. Okay, when it is a transaction-driven means, okay, so to hire an employee, for example, you have to go to one transaction. To maintain some address, some master data means you have to go to one transaction. To run payroll, we have to go to one transaction. To run enter time, we have to go to one transaction. But when it is a transaction, behind the transaction, there will be some ABAP programs running. So it can be one, it can be many. Okay? So those programs are actually coded in the language ABAP program. Okay? So, but, remember I mentioned about a development plan like, screen painter and menu painter kind of thing. So they are, but they're nothing but, the screens. See, like this, 1 second. I think, system I didn't log in, so I got the password, but this is what the screen look like. Okay, and once I log in, it will take me to the system, and then, so these are the icons, different icons, is menu painter. Each screen will be designed. Here I can show the programs here. This is a program name for that, and who is, you can see what transaction is trying to, some basic information you can see here. Okay. But the program, once I log in, the program actually, different program will be running behind, and then the screen maybe look little different. So what you want to show on the screen is actually the screen design. Okay, and what are the different icons are menu painter means, different icons. So different each arrow, each icon has a different functionality.
Okay, got it. Great, thanks.
Yeah. So, but again, each user will be like the initial screen, but depending on your job role, you will get access. Okay. In the as I said, if you remember the landscape, development system will get the full access. That's where we spend most of our time. Okay, because configuring the system, and then quality you cannot configure, but you can test it. Okay, in production you don't create the data, but you will troubleshoot the issues technically.
Oh, okay.
Because our role will be changing from the client to client. Because we are IT people, So we don't expect, doing anything in the production system. That is for the end user job.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
the start you have to plan. Okay, that's why these documents, whatever we give, it will help to make you understand a little bit more. But the day-to-day job is again, so how hard you practice, all depending on, getting into first project is important. Once you are there, then we don't have to look back. Okay.
Okay. And like usually, like SAP HCM, I think it's not good to use term HR nowadays, right? It's all HCM.
It is a term is HCM, but still people will call HR kind. But the term is HCM. It means human capital management, right? So means
Yes.
employees also is part of the asset nowadays for the company.
Okay. So
Okay.
usually it's like a small company use more of a HR HCM module, or it's kind of a big company who uses
But
it.
small, big, nothing. Everybody needs some kind of software. Okay, if mid-sized companies are going, they cannot afford multiple software. They try to choose one software and then implement everything from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the main concern for me, why I'm asking, is I have been working as a recruiter for last 3 years, IT recruiter, and now I want to jump on to something else which is related to HR as well. But looking at the job sites here in New York, New Jersey, what do you suggest? Is there any much of companies who use SAP here, like in East Coast?
Yeah, we have because Philadelphia is being actually headquarters for SAP. So we have so many all big companies actually use runs on SAP.
In Philadelphia.
Yeah, in region, basically not Philadelphia. It means all central government jobs actually, so central government is using SAP here. Okay, and there are so many big companies, pharmaceutical companies, and everybody on SAP. Okay, not just in Philadelphia. SAP region means New York, Maryland, Washington, all these actually come.
Oh, okay.
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 So yeah.
So anyway, you can say East Coast is also equally good, not only West Coast.
Yeah, many companies, so people actually so many companies, as I said, nearly for more than 40,000 customers worldwide means, you can see, it cannot be just big companies, it can be big, small, everybody.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, that might be, I'm working for last 16 years means, so just resume. So the technology will be advanced when you start and then future. So means once you are there, you'll go with the technology.
Okay. Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah. So anyone has any questions? So Chandana, are you there?
Hello.
Shruti? Yeah, Chandana.
Yes, Krishna, I'm here. I'm fine with it.
Okay, and Sandy?
Yes. Hello.
Are you good? Yeah, are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. So any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shruti? Yeah. Shruti?
Yeah, hi. Actually, my question is, I don't want to get into the development side of SAP HR. So what other job prospects would I have? Could I get into SAP HR business analyst, or I want to get into the non-technical side of
what we call is actually, okay, let me go back, a good question. Let me go back, how the, job market is classified in SAP.
Okay.
So job market side, okay, I don't want to go in depth with, some areas. the technical, high level. The
Okay.
technical means it's a kind of a development side, like, programming skills you have to have.
Right.
Okay. So, and non-technical means, so within the technical, there is another classification. Is one is the development side, one is the basic.
Correct.
System administration side. Okay. And non-technical means one is security, SAP system security, like, user security. So based on the job roles, they create different job roles for the different end users, different, IT people, like that, different, ESS only users kind of thing. They have created different roles and then they assign.
Okay.
Okay, it's security.
Okay.
Okay, and next is actually a functional.
Okay.
Okay, in the functional, so we, I consider as a functional person. So I'm working like 16 years with functional.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not technical, but we get some kind of a technical understanding based on our background, based on our experience, something like that. We don't write a program, but we get some kind of a reading understanding. So how to read the programs, how to troubleshoot the issues, kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay. So, but it's not, as I said, it is a non-technical means a functional. That's what our focus.
Okay.
So it means we try to get the requirements. Okay. Then we collect all the requirements from the different users based on the requirement gathering sessions we call, and then we summarize, and then since our expertise is SAP HCM, for example, then what I need to bring those employees, different types of employees, into SAP HR module.
Right.
Okay, means what type of, how many companies they have, how many companies we need to create in SAP, how many companies they have, how the employees are structured in the different business locations, different work locations.
Okay.
How to bring them into SAP HR structure. So like that, we get the requirements and then we prepare the design.
Oh, okay. Right.
Okay. And
Okay.
then when you do the design, sometimes some of the requirements, okay, if you identify this is the requirement, but to standard up to this level only is possible. So to analyze that, we have to have some kind of a strong understanding on the our functional side, what is SAP supports, what SAP doesn't support, like.
Right.
So you get that, I think, when you do more practice and reading the material, is what we do.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So once you identify any gap, that's where you should understand this is a gap, and this is how we can overcome that gap. Means a custom solution you have to plan.
Right. So do we have to also learn some queries and stuff?
Certain things, so, it is not that tough, but, there are SAP deliver queries are there. So we explore, and then we have a few presentations on that queries. So we'll give that, and then, it will give some kind of understanding. Okay?
Okay.
So when you go to the project, nobody expects you to do, within 1 hour. Okay?
Right.
So if it's a project, you will get enough time to study and then, learn and then do.
Okay.
Some areas, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So would you also be able to suggest some books and some references to study further in detail? Would you be giving us some materials?
We give the material. If you go and take SAP training classes, they give materials, right? You get the same material in the PDF form.
Okay.
Okay. So few of them may be a little bit older, but still, you don't miss any, core understanding. And I also give so many, whatever the presentations I'm using, I also give, the presentations with the additional materials, and that will give you some kind of a quick summary of that, different areas. So, you can use those also.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Yes. Okay, so yeah, usually, once, the concept of introduction is once we have the, potential students from next week, so that we can save the time, and then we can go and, start the classes on the day one kind of thing. Okay.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Quick
we go with half day to 1 day unnecessarily just for the introduction.
Quick question. This is Lakshmi. Hey, the recorded sessions, they are being sent to us as well?
Usually, that is actually, Madhu as a training coordinator, they take care of it. And I know, okay, so they record the whole sessions of mine, and they send all those, definitely they are sending. So I know, I heard from the previous students. Okay. And so usually, they break up to the lunches because otherwise it is a lengthy file, voice recording. So they usually record 2 files a day, like up to lunch is one, and then after lunch is one kind of thing.
Right.
So it's send. They are sending. Sometimes it may be a delay in sending, something like that, but they are sending.
Okay.
So,
all right.
And especially they are very, very useful. Okay. So when you are reading the materials, because when you go with the material, most of the time you don't get practice time. So just go with the class, making your notes kind of thing. But when you go back and practice, then actually, those sessions are very, very helpful.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
So, even, so what are the previous recordings, so they can still send the same, but also, but every time depending on, from batch to batch, so depending on how you guys, my way of delivering the, things will be changing, but you don't miss anything, technically.
Okay, awesome. All right. Thanks.
Yeah, as I said, it is actually, usually the 5.5 weeks to, like that. So maximum 6 weeks you can plan. The regular weekend. Usually, usually I don't break. I don't give any break in between, unless I'm not well or bad weather to come to New Year's kind of thing. Otherwise, even that also I try to manage from remotely, but we'll see. Usually 6 weeks. That's why that's how I plan usually.
Okay. Perfect.
So unless there is a long weekend in between, usually I don't give any break.
Okay.
Just so once you are committed, means plan for 6 weekends, okay, and so that if you miss for a few hours also, it is very sometimes the initial week is okay, but once we go, it is that gap is gap, okay. Even how much I say to cover, so but the gap is gap. So just try to be on time and usually 4 o'clock I say, but 4:30 usually I conclude most of the time. So 9 to 4:30 like.
Okay.
So communicate, so that is East Coast time. So you have to be prepared for the time. Okay. Yeah. So sometimes I also get students. We have operations even in India. So sometimes they enroll from India also. So that is right for them. So we stick to the schedule. Most of the time.
Right.
Okay. And my preference also is 7 or maximum kind of thing. I don't prefer the single digit is better for me, so that I can pay a little bit more attention and then answer your question.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all, and so as I said, my name is Krishna, and I'm with ITBMS for last 7+ years. Okay, they are my friends also. That's why I only work with ITBMS, not anything outside the company.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. If you have any questions or if you need any further administrative side related questions, then I'm not the person to answer.
Right.
Just please, talk to Madhu or someone. Okay.
Okay. And can we get your email ID just in case we come across some course?
Usually I give.
You do? Okay. Maybe in the next actual session.
Usually I share my email ID and my phone number. I don't hesitate to give that. Okay.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So batch is started. Once batch is started, I will give.
Okay.
So that so that usually even though I give the phone numbers, it's sometimes tough to hold me. But I know I will return the call at some point.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. And so if you have no questions for me, then I will conclude the session. And hope I'll see you next week. Okay. That's what we were planning.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Krishna.
Thank you. Have a good day and good weekend.
You too. Okay, bye.
Okay. Bye. Bye.